So yeah, in preparation for the NPA Aspirant Prosecutors program, most of you have been called, and I am so elated. I am so happy that you performed well in your test. You did us proud. So I am now preparing you for that interview. Please remember section 6, subsection B of the Criminal Procedure Act, where you talk of withdrawal and stopping of prosecution. Right, when you this is what happens when your person is charged and the senior public prosecutor sees that the case is not strong. They will simply do something that is called the matter has not been enrolled. They will just not enroll it for hearing in court. And what does that mean? You will go to court and you will find that your accused name does not appear on the roll. You should not go and ask for the name to be enrolled. All that means is that the case has been withdrawn even before it comes to court. Okay. We have said to you guys that the withdrawal happens even before the charges have been preferred. No, it's not. That is not very accurate, because it happens before and after. I will tell you the difference of those withdrawals. The withdrawal before the charges are preferred. Then it happens that charges are preferred and the matter is adjourned for further investigation, right? Postponement for further investigation. And further investigation revealed that the case is very weak. Then the state will then withdraw the charges. They normally say provisionally withdrawn. I remember that I had a case where the accused had pleaded, and the only outstanding statement was that of the employee of Old Mutual, who had to make a statement that this accused came to her and misrepresented the facts in order to get the money out of Old Mutual, and she did. Now, the only outstanding statement in order to make a case strong was that of that Old Mutual official. Because that statement did not materialize, the case was withdrawn on that basis, because that meant the case is weak, because we need somebody who's going to say, she came to me, did the misrepresentation, and that is why money was paid. Because that statement was not obtained, then the case was withdrawn after the accused had pleaded to the case. Now, let's come to the stopping of prosecution. Stopping of prosecution, as the section says, that it can only be stopped after the accused has pleaded to the case. That is now charges preferred, and he or she has pleaded guilty or not guilty. Then the prosecutor, that is now not any other prosecutor, the senior public prosecutor, will make a certificate that says the prosecution against this particular accused has been stopped, right? So that we must make that differentiation. This issue of that charges cannot be withdrawn after the accused has pleaded to the case is not very accurate. So please do not make that mistake. Just use your common sense, and you will see that the accused can be the charges against the accused can be withdrawn before and after. Okay, so we've got that corrected. Now let's come to we've talked about knowing the institution that let's talk about the knowing of the institution, because when you go to this institution, which is the NPA, you need to know the act that governs the NPA, which I've said is Act 32 of 1998. You don't have to forget that. And you also need to know who is the national director of prosecution, that is now the national director of the NDPP, right? A national director of public prosecutions is Miss Shamila Badohi. You need to know the name of your boss, because she's going to be your boss. And also you need to know the mission and the vision of the prosecution authority. We have discussed that with those who were in class. I'm going to repeat now what is the mission and the vision. Now, like I'm saying, you need to know who are the stakeholders and what is the duty of the National Prosecution Authority. And also, there is a question of what do you do if one of your colleagues, who is also a prosecutor, has a tendency of taking monies from the people, from the accused, in order to make the case go away. As a credible and a professional prosecutor, you need to make sure that you report that dishonesty immediately. You report it to your senior, and your immediate senior will be what is called the coordinator, right? The coordinator, the one that tells you which court you're going to do, how many cases are you going to do a day. So you go and report, because that's your immediate supervisor. If he does not do anything about it, and then you take it further to somebody senior, which will be the senior public prosecutor, and if he doesn't, you take it to the DPP, to the Director of Public Prosecution, until you take it to the National Director of Public Prosecution. Then for sure is going to be the one who's taking steps, right? There's also something called competent verdict. That is now when you're dealing with sentencing. So there will be competent verdicts, and competent verdicts also occur when you are about to prefer charges. You see that, okay, this is robbery, but it's not quite robbery. Then you use the competent verdict, which is a lesser crime. That is now the competent verdict, which will be the lesser crime. Robbery could be theft. Assault GBH can be just assault common. Rape can be indecent assault, right? So that's the competent verdict. Okay, right? And then you also, like I've told you, you also have to know how to define crimes, right? And how to be able to identify the kind of crime that you need to prefer. For instance, somebody comes to a room and takes away a laptop or a phone. If the door was wide open and he just went in and took the phone, that will be pure theft. But if the door was slightly open and he pushed the door to take the laptop, then you must know that crime is a housebreaking, even though there was no physical breaking. The fact that the door was slightly open and he pushed it wide to take whatever he took, then that becomes housebreaking. And also if it's assault, and somebody tries to assault you with a stick, and you you protect yourself maybe with your arm, or maybe you moved out of the way and he hits a table or something else, or any of your property, and breaks it, then the person will be charged of assault GBH. Never mind that you will not be beaten, but you will be, that person will be charged with assault GBH, because he used a stick to assault you, and broke a glass, maybe break a table or a window while trying to beat you. Then the second charge will be the malicious injury to property, which is MI2P. We call it MITP or LMI2P. That is a malicious injury to property, right? So you must know that it's like somebody who has got a firearm and he fires that firearm in the air. That person will be charged for 2 counts, which is discharging a firearm in a public place, and also possession of an unlicensed firearm, if we have established that the firearm was unlicensed. So there will be 2 charges. So you need to be careful, right? And same thing that happens. Now let's come to schedules. Let's take murder, for instance. We know that murder can be Schedule 1, right? And also murder can be Schedule 5 or Schedule 6, depending on the circumstances, right? For the purposes of bail, murder will always be Schedule 5. So if you come to court to apply for bail, and the prosecutor says, and you are the prosecutor, you tell the people that we are going to try this, to do bail in terms of Schedule 5, and you will have to give reasons why. And you tell them, for the purposes of bail, murder is always Schedule 5. But if it's premeditated, then it becomes Schedule 6. Okay. Then it's Schedule 6. All right. So, but now you must know that for Schedule 6, the onus is always on the applicant, right, to show that exceptional circumstances exist that permit that the applicant be admitted to bail in the interest of justice. You mustn't leave out interest of justice, even if you're talking about Schedule 6. Schedule 6, we know it's exceptional circumstances that show that in the interest of justice, the applicant may be admitted to bail or released on bail. And with Schedule 5, it is just only the applicant is released in the interest of justice, and all he needs to prove his case on a balance of probabilities. Always, when that bail application is balance of probabilities only, although we know that when it comes to the trial, it is going to be beyond reasonable doubt. So you must be able to make that distinction. And also when it comes to the what else are we forgetting? Yeah, let's stop there for now, and let me try and remember, so that after this we are going to deal with small claims court, which has got nothing with the application that you are going for on the 4th, on the 10th, and on the subsequent days. I hope this will be enough, and you will definitely get your stripes.